Hello everybody. In this video, we are going to take a look at the input lag test for Street Fighter 6 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC.
When it's all said and done, they gon' call me a legend. I love to break bread, but I'd rather break records. I'm ready for a fight when it's on, it's on. I'm charging like a bull when it's
For this test, I'm going to be using a high-speed camera that's capable of recording at 960 frames per second. We're going to be measuring the input delay at different refresh rates. Without further ado, let's get started. Alright, here it is. After days of recording and collecting the data, we have the results. On the PS5 at 60Hz, the average input delay is 109, with the lowest being 100 and the highest at 115 milliseconds. When I set the PS5 to 120Hz, the result is actually the same at 110 on average, with the lowest being 98 and the highest at 117. Now, if you know anything about input delay, having a high refresh rate should mean faster input delay, and that's not the case here. And the reason being is we cannot force the PS5 to run at 120Hz if the game doesn't support it. And that makes sense because the game runs at 60 frames per second. On Xbox Series X at 60Hz, the average input delay is 92 milliseconds, with the lowest being 82 and the highest being 100. As you can see here, the PS5 is essentially 110 and the Xbox is at 92. That's about an 18 millisecond difference. Well, you may be wondering, why is this? My best guess here is that Microsoft did a better job at optimizing the Xbox than Sony did with the PlayStation 5. If you remember, during the launch of both of these consoles, Sony kind of touted their features of the controllers, such as the adaptive trigger and the haptic feedback, while Microsoft talked about input delay and how to reduce it and optimizing for the actual gameplay experience. And I guess the results speaks for themselves. At 120Hz, the average input delay is 86.5 milliseconds, with the minimum being 77 milliseconds and a maximum at 94. And as you can see here, this number is faster than 60Hz. At 60Hz is 92 and 120Hz is 86. Unlike on the PlayStation 5, with the Xbox Series X, you're able to force the refresh rate to run at 120Hz, regardless of the frame rate of the game. And this is why we are able to reduce the input delay of the game even further at 120Hz on the Xbox. Now let's get on to the PC at 60Hz, average input delay 100 milliseconds, minimum 92 milliseconds, maximum 107. At 60Hz, this is slower than on the Xbox, but it is faster than on the PlayStation. Now I'm running the game on Windows 11, and my best guess here is Windows just by nature is more bloated than the Xbox operating system. There's just more hoops to jump through, therefore the input delay is going to be slower. But even then, it's still faster than the PS5. At 120Hz, the average input delay is 64.5 milliseconds, with the minimum being 56 and maximum at 71.8. Now this is a huge jump. As you can see, we just went from 100 milliseconds to 64. That's a 35 millisecond reduction. In this scenario, the only thing I can think of is just the brute force of the PC. Going from 60Hz to 120Hz made a huge difference. My monitor is capable of going up to 360Hz. Let's see how much further we can reduce the input delay at that insane refresh rate. And here it is at 360Hz, the average input delay is at 61 milliseconds. At minimum, we have 53 and maximum at 70. As you can see here, it is lower, but it's not a huge jump that we experience from going 60 to 120. It looks like what's happening here is as we push the refresh rate higher and higher, we're going to experience diminishing returns in terms of input delay reduction. And here's the side-by-side numbers for each of the platforms. At 60 Hz, the Xbox is the fastest at 92. Then we have the PC at 100, and on the PlayStation 5 is at 109. At 120 Hz, essentially that's the same as 60 Hz on the PlayStation 5. And on the Xbox at 120 Hz, you get about a 24 millisecond reduction here. And when you move on to the PC, it's even more drastic here. It's even faster here at 64. And at the overkill refresh rate of 360 Hz, we are only able to reduce it only a few more milliseconds here. But at 61 milliseconds, this is the fastest input delay that we can achieve. And there you have it. If you want the fastest input delay, play on PC on a high refresh rate monitor. And in terms of consoles, the Xbox hardware is just more optimized than on the PlayStation. And don't forget to force the system into 120 Hz if you have a TV that's capable of that. Alright, that's gonna be it for me. Hopefully you found the video to be interesting. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and take care now.